What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and boy, did us Canadian national team fans just get a treat. We have 3 matches in preparation for the World Cup. The first one against Qatar, which just happened, against Uruguay, and then finally against Japan. Now, out of those matches, Qatar to me seemed like the easier one, and this was just incredible. From start to finish from the Canadian national team, they dominated this match, and this should give them huge confidence going up against their next match against Uruguay. So let's start off with my 5 takeaways, what we do here on every single Canadian national team match afterwards. And if you guys enjoyed this series, as always, be sure to drop a like, drop a sub, and let's get into the takeaways now. Now, usually when we get to watch Canada play, it's 7 at night, 10 at night, Eastern Standard Time, or it's like at a 4 o'clock time on the weekend. This time's in the middle of the day, so hopefully if you guys weren't able to watch the match, I'll be able to at least give you an idea of how it went. So my very first takeaway from this match is going to be from the Qatar side, and for me, it baffled me how poor this Qatar side was. Now, it's worth noting Qatar has all their players playing in the Qatari league. They set up a lot of friendlies. This should be as close to a club-looking team as possible, and they look lost out here today. I don't know if it's because they're not playing at home and they're used to that type of heat. They're going over here to Austria. It was apparently pretty cold there today. But as simple as just making a pass, it wasn't even there. There was so many times today I can't even count. I would have to guess like 15 to 20 times that a Qatar player had the ball, took a look, made a pass, and it went directly to a Canadian player to go back the other way. It was incredible how poor they were. They had no idea, they had no cohesion today of what to do. And Canada got off to a really, really strong start, and then the tactics didn't even change. They sat back. They were hoping to defend and hit on the counter. That was Qatar's goal. They went down early. They didn't adjust. The passing was atrocious. They really didn't give Canada anything. There's 2 ways of looking at it, because I would have liked a little bit more of a competitive match, but hopefully this will gear us up for a really good game against Uruguay and then following another good game against Japan, who also impressed today against the US. But for me, just watching this match, I was really, really disappointed in seeing how Qatar showed up today, because I was just baffled. There's no other word to talk about. I've never seen that many missed passes and complete no pressure situations and giving the ball right back to Canada to go the other way. It made it so easy for us. My second takeaway is now focusing on the Canadian side, and that is the start. John Herdman got these guys up and running from the very get-go. There's no way around it. We've seen these positive starts from Canada before, where right from kickoff, Eustaquio whips it out to the right, and then they just go at it, and that is exactly how it is. This is the mentality check that Canada needs going into the World Cup. When you can get this cohesion around this team, who can pass the ball around so easy, that is pretty direct, that is structurally sound, it looked fantastic. And I liked every part of it. The team was hungry. They wanted to treat this like a World Cup type of situation. And if they can play like this and suffocate teams with possession, which I don't know if Qatar will replicate the type of opposition we're going to have in the World Cup, but regardless, I think that this Canadian team can do some damage. They looked really good in transition when Qatar actually put some players forward and often lost the ball. Canada did come back down the other way with a lot of speed. Overall, the start and the passion in those opening 20 minutes was fantastic. Everything you want to see out of your national team. There was a couple of things defensively that they looked a little off, but it didn't bite us in the butt whatsoever. We got a little bit more sound after that, and all in all, this was as straightforward as a match as I could have possibly hoped for. The third takeaway is the goal scorers. And then for me, I'm an old-fashioned get your strikers to score kind of guy. You want your goal scorers, your difference makers in front of goal, especially in a tournament, to be sharp. Now, Kyle Larin has had a tough start to his season with Club Brugge. There's no getting around that. He's barely featured, which is why, in my opinion, he probably only featured 45 minutes. If he would have played throughout the season and had been a starter and is used to 90, maybe he would have featured a little bit more. I could be off, but my guess is the fact that he doesn't play a lot. Instead of throwing him in there to play a full 90, he's giving him his 45. He got his goal, staying sharp. He'll probably start again against Uruguay, but he still looks sharp. Despite him not featuring week in, week out for Club Brugge, he did what he had to do in front of goal. It was a very, to me, easy-looking goal again. Qatar not doing too much, putting any pressure on Atakubi. He literally stopped the ball, put in a high-floating header, and just showing the quality of Kyle Larin to get up there, nice placed header, what you want to see. And then a poacher in front of goal with Jonathan David getting the other one. Keeper parried it out after a very rare Kamal Miller cross. Davies kind of got taken out from behind, fell. Good positioning from Jonathan David, put it home very comfortably. you want your goal scorers to score. There's just no way around it. When it comes to the World Cup, difference makers who can come up and take something out of nothing is exactly what I want to see. And I'm really happy to see both Larin and David scored. And hopefully in the next match against Uruguay, they can repeat that. Now, my fourth takeaway is going to be the shape, because we know however John Herman's going to start off the match, it's never going to sit that way. And to me, I'm seeing three types of system. I'm seeing the 4-4-2, which is definitely how they started, but then it shifts to this back three and it almost looked like a 3-4-1-2. And then once the first substitution came out and Richie Larea came on, it turned into a 3-4-3. Alphonso Davies having a bit of a roaming role. I personally have made this very clear. I like seeing him out wide, whether that's a 4-2-3-1, whether it's a 3-4-3, 4-4-2, in my opinion, is preferred. But I like seeing him out wide because that's where he can be. I didn't think Davies overly shined today. I think he had his moments. He's obviously a very quality player, but I think when you're going to get the best out of Alphonso Davies, it is going to be playing in that 4-4-2, but making sure he pushes up wide. When he tucks in, I think he sometimes does a little bit too much, and you don't get to see him at his best, which is using his speed to his ability, his crossing ability, and just cutting in and taking on players 1v1. But I liked how the team shifted. I liked in possession, seeing them be able to switch it back, find their shape when they need to defend, going forward. Alistair Johnson has become an expert at going from like a right back situation into a back three, allowing Atakubi to go up a little bit, who ended up getting an assist. It just structurally, it looked very cohesive. Canada looked like the team who should be like Qatar, playing a ton of different friendlies and looking like the club team. Canada looked comfortable on the ball, and it was really, honestly, really fantastic to watch right from the start. Disappointing from Qatar. And guys, my fifth and final takeaway, because it's a friendly, and for me, these friendlies are going to kind of tell us what we should expect to see at the World Cup. In my opinion, that was the best 11 available to us today. And for me, looking at the substitutions, it's going to be a tell to see who's going to be coming off at the World Cup. Now, I was a little confused-ish about some of the substitutions. Now, a lot of them made sense. Richard Larea, for me, was always going to be the first substitution. He's the one player who you want to maybe include. You'd have to drop someone to change up the shape to make it work. So that one made sense to me. Mark-Anthony Kaye, straight swap. We were going to see Ugbo and players like that. But we didn't see anyone out of the back three change, which I found interesting because Victoria picked up a yellow. I would have liked to maybe see Waterman get a run in that central midfield, or maybe put one of the lefties in Cornelius or, of course, Kennedy, but we didn't see that. And then seeing Brim and Liam Miller, who I thought was a little surprising coming in over Corbeanu, who's I think is on better form, and then we didn't get to see Luka Kolyosho. So a couple interesting takes to see what's going to maybe happen there. But all in all, it was an incredible match. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys will keep an eye on the channel, because we will have another watch along coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your takeaways are down in the comments below if you agree with mine. If you had anything else you wanted to, or I missed and you wanted to add, put it down in the comments. I'll definitely read it and check it out. Drop a like, drop a sub, and we'll see you guys soon. Cheers, friends.